I didn't want to kind of come back a week later with this, but yeah, I figured I'd do it eventually. I mean, I had to, right? For those of you who know about the Twitter poll, I will still be doing Sunder Son. Don't worry. Y'all always stay asking me like, what's the intro song? What's the intro song? So Bryson Tiller dropped Trap Soul in 2015, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think this is a perfect album. I lied. You got clickbaited. I've never actually thought Bryson Tiller was a good singer or a great singer in my opinion. That doesn't mean that Trap Soul, just for like what it did and the time that I had while I was listening to it, wasn't perfect. Just the album itself wasn't perfect. And there are some records that I've listened to that transcend score or grade or measurement. You know, the time that I had listening to this record, it's all that I have in consideration when I'm thinking about Trap Soul, not necessarily what his notes were, if he was singing correctly. There really isn't any justification that I could define in objective terms to explain why I believe this record is one of the best of the decade for the 2010s, because I'm admitting to you before this point that I am biased toward it. It's giving me too much. And this is coming from a guy who listened to it later, like after it was released, like mid 2016 territory. This record let me know when I was like 20, 21 that I'm built different. That's what this record let me know. Could've sworn that you told me. I said with me it's different, bitch. I love how after this point, when he's turning the pages, the theme never fucking returns. Personally, I didn't feel like Bryson Tiller did much to distinguish himself from the other artists that were already making music similar to this, like Drake, like Party Next Door. That's why when he came out, everybody thought he was from Toronto, because this music existed in that same spacey, trappy, generic R&B territory. Like I said, objectively speaking, there isn't much that I can say in this record's defense. If you want to shit on it and trash it, you can, and I'll be okay with that. The transition from the intro difference into Let 'Em Know, like that's Beethoven level fucking genius right there. Fuck, I forgot to take repeat off. Hold up, give me a second, I'm built different. Motherfucker, I'm him. Who is he? I don't know, but I'm him. I've probably listened to Let 'Em Know at least 73,000 times. I've listened to this at least 73 million times. See, again, if you want to shit on this album for its songwriting, you can, because there is nothing special going on here. And when I say I was built different, it meant that I felt like the hoes couldn't live without me. That's what I felt. That was my moment. That was the zone that I was in. So right, I'm coming back for good, so let them niggas know it's mine, even though I don't plan on sticking around that long. Already got someone, that's what you tell them I've made no commitments to you. Hey, you just got an extra teammate. Y'all sorority sisters now. Fuck right in up your ass, I won't hold back. Even though emotionally I'm always holding back, the love that I have for this record is insane. It's associated with a time in my life where I just had such a good time, and I realized a part of not only myself but like people in general. You know, like this is the most liberating time in my life. It was the most understanding point in my life when it comes to how I viewed women. Not because I was looking at it like, oh, they're all objects of my sick, twisted mind. This was just at a time where, you know, I understood people doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do, and I also did whatever the fuck that I wanted to do, and it just felt like it went along with that time. Even though, if you pay attention to what he's writing about and what he's saying, there's some sappy bullshit about I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I meant that shit. I meant every word, every action, I meant that shit. I did it. Y'all just heard me make these statements in the Weeknd video. When I was listening to Bryson Tiller, I'm like, yo, get this simp out of my face. You're not sorry. Tell her the truth. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. It's clearly not broken. It's just so unfinished. I feel like my new bitch was just your apprentice and we just got... See, Exchange was a good record. Lord, please save her for me. Change my play away. See, you lost me. You lost me there. No! It sounded like he's screaming, like he's like somebody scared the shit out of him and he yelled in auto-tune. Definitely isn't anything that I would like. It's not a hill that I would die on that Trap Soul from Bryson Tiller is a perfect album. But it like the routine that I had in my life at this time, it just fit. It just fit that routine. This album feels like a routine. It's not too different. It's nothing special. It's nothing grand. Nothing outside of the way he raps and sings as like a personality, differentiating him enough from artists like Drake, Party Next Door, even The Weeknd, Chris Brown, to say that he was a standout artist. But he still, in my opinion, made music that they would not have put together. Drake would have probably been a little bit more vindictive in the songwriting, I feel like. Party Next Door would have been much more unnecessarily sexual with it, despite how much I love P&D 1 and P&D 2. Chris Brown would have tried to make it go like pop for some reason. And The Weeknd would have put cocaine over the beat. I don't know. He did what they would do, but in a different way, I felt like. And that was like, it's an extension, it's a branch from the same tree. And that's why I guess I felt kind of at home listening to it, because it didn't feel far off from what I would regularly listen to. I guess that's why it kind of fit so comfortably in with all the music we were already used to at the time. It wasn't like a culture shock. It made sense. You know, I'm already listening to these artists. What the fuck is one more? Don't be dishonest. Totally hypocritical for me. Girl, they only fucked you over because you let them. Ah, fuck. Yeah. Nobody ever timed that right. What really pissed me off about like the open interlude was that he could have easily replaced that with just another interlude that was so much better. I'm glad he put it on the deluxe, but just another interlude would have made this album like, I don't know, but I would have. That ain't my girl, that's my nigga. Triple one is in a hassle, oh damn yeah. I never liked 10, 9, 14, I'm sorry. I never got into Bryson Tiller's like rapping. Not to say it was bad, but it just like, I never took it seriously. Sometimes it was cool, you know, like the 502 Come Up, that song was cool. 10, 9, 14, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where are the bars? All you niggas sound commercial to me, man. I don't like commercial, nigga. Please shut the fuck up before I hurt you. It's a regular album about a dude who had regular circumstances that came up. And, you know, you couldn't help but kind of have some pride in that as like a fan if you'd been listening to him before Trap Soul, and just be like, wow, man, that's cool. You know, you not only are you making music for people who are fucking up in their relationship, and people who can respect the grind, people who can respect the come up. I mean, didn't he say he was working at like UPS or something, or some pizza place? Like that's respectable. Like, people have a start, and just knowing where you at now, that's great, you know? You know what I really hated about this album? Are the reviews, because there was a time in my life where I was just like, yo, like every review that I would read about any album that I would like would just be immediately corny to me. And I remember the very first review, I don't remember where it was that I read it, but somebody really, when like they typed the shit out and they were like, oh, this gonna kill him, like this is super deep, nobody's thought of this before. The journalist wrote, Trap Soul, get this, is a combination of trap and soul. Oh my god, no one's ever thought of, holy shit, bro, no one's ever thought of that. Why don't you do me a favor and take all those pills at the same time? Knock him out the park, then I'm knocking down your bitch. There were a heap of records on this album that I just didn't want to relate to. You know, I had already given myself up years prior to this point. Relish in not my wrongs, but just like living my truths, you know? Like, I wasn't immediately guilty or feeling so sorry about everything that will go wrong in a relationship, because I just felt like things happen to make people grow. Are you really gonna give up on an honest man who cheated once, ladies? Come on now. Overtime is an underrated record on Trap Soul, in my opinion. The drop on this is great, but I also remember Overtime because at the time I was working a job where I was working really late, basically, and I can't say exactly where. I don't want to say. I was working with somebody and like their wife worked there too, and like she was like disrespectfully touchy and feely, and she said something to someone else and she didn't know I was like there, and she said it about me, and I was like, and then her husband was still working on the same shift. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is... She comes out of the door, walks around because there's a stand. All right, there's a wall, and starts describing this person, right? This person of pure anonymity who looks exactly like me in description, and then tells me what she did with him. Keep in mind, this person that she's talking about is not her current husband, the one that I know. I'm not breaking eye contact, telling me this is exactly what they did. And the only reason I didn't engage was because they were a white couple. And at that point, he had already told me that he didn't like rap music. He was racist. I know. I remember I asked him one day, I was like, yo, you listen to, you listen to these new records, XYZ, they were basically rap records. He was like, no, I don't really listen to the stuff like that. And then I made a joke. I was like, oh, so you don't listen to those people's music? And he started laughing way too hard. His wife literally basically invited me to fuck. I know a trap when I see one. That's an easy W for the KKK.
How you wanna go about it?
Girls that speak on the voicemail, any woman that has like an accent like that, annoying as fuck. Immediate annoying as fuck. You always, that accent in particular, annoying as fuck.
Working over, I've been the son your nigga can't fathom all, man. He just bought a ball, man. He thought that would get up and leave him for me, I know.
I think I'm too wholesome. You know, I come off to people as if I have no bad intentions, which I don't. You know, from 2016 to like 2017-ish, I pretty much only was rocking a few records, and like this was one of them. And I had this on when so much shit was happening. There were records I felt like could have been removed from this thing, but I, for the most part, would just play it. And I didn't really think about it too much, you know? This was my doing phase, you know? I wasn't really thinking about anything. I was doing, I was action. And that was it. Lights, camera, action. That was it. Self-Righteous is probably one of the best songs that would have been on Trapsoul had he added it. Like, that was better to me than a good bit of records off of Trapsoul. And he easily could have got away with replacing a record or two or three on Trapsoul with Self-Righteous. This was Bryson Tiller's magnum opus, his highest, you know, moment career-wise for me.
Something to say, yeah, easy to love me.
Oh my God, the messages, bro. The message. At first, I know it's easy to love me. Oh my God. That's all I got. Y'all let me know what experiences that you shared with Trapsoul. I'm doing another one of these soon. It's going to be easier for me to do a couple of these. I've been wanting to do some of these for like the last year, honestly, but I haven't had time to do so. But thankfully, since music as far as R&B, soul, rap, and hip hop is concerned, is music that I feel can be condensed into like a playlist video that I will be releasing soon. I've had extra space and extra time to just do some more videos on stuff that I've been wanting to talk about for ages. So you can let me know in the comment section down below if you want me to add a record, and I will do so. But I got a lot of other records lined up that I want to do before that. So I'll see y'all soon. And until next time, like Chris Brown say,